ready for another lesson?
We need to get pumped up.
Did someone just hand me a microphone? I'm ready to start the pod. That's a reference to episode 55, ladies and gentlemen. Go back and listen if you have not.
I was going to say, is that coming out before or after this episode? It's coming
out at the same time. If the listener is smart, they'll listen to it in release order.
Oh, yeah, I guess that would make sense.
Because that'll be 55. This is 56.
And it'll be chronological because those are that's one and two.
1 and 2, and then this is 3. So a little throwback reference.
True.
Yeah. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Back Row Banter, your favorite casual movie talk podcast. I am one of your hosts, Adam Schwartz, and on today's episode, not a lot of news, but we do have a recent release getting a new sequel confirmed, and then nothing for trailer talk. We'll get to the new to streaming. It's another light week. We'll do the what we're watching, of course, and our main review for the episode. The Conjuring, the devil made me do it.
He done made me do it.
And he made me watch it, too. I'm joined today, of course, by none other than No Ghosto, Nathaniel Gingrich.
Were my first words. I said, no, Ghosto.
Yeah. Stay away.
He was evidently born in Mexico.
I think it's Phantasma in Spanish, isn't it?
I have no idea.
I believe it is.
Yeah, I could not tell you.
I think it's Phantasma.
I took French.
Amigo
Speaking
Phantasma.
of childbirth, have you guys seen those memes on the internet of like the baby in the womb? And it's like please be Hawaii, and then it's born and it's like, I don't know, like Plano, Texas. That's
funny.
Just like, fuck.
Oh, man. I'm gonna see if I can send that to you guys.
I also was not expecting Blake to go. Speaking of childbirth.
Yeah, ghost childbirth.
Quite the transition. Of course, I'm also joined today by Try an Exorcism Tyler Vidalis.
Don't actually do that.
Well, when all else fails, man, try an exorcism.
Not unless you're like certified.
Yeah, we go to the church.
Even if it's an online certification, like like you get your.
Like you're saying, I should do it.
Speaking of childbirth,
you're an ordained mister.
I am.
Speaking of childbirth, don't deliver your child at home. Don't do an exorcism at home. Get a professional.
Like me.
Are you ordained in any way? Well, no, you officiated that one wedding, didn't you?
Yeah, Joe's wedding.
I mean, officiations, exorcisms,
and
they're
They're
the same.
forget about Yuka.
Yeah.
One's bringing two people together, and one's separating a demon from another person.
In an ideal world, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's like it's a one in, one out scenario kind of thing.
Some would say that marriage is kind of like marrying a demon.
I think it's for every marriage you do, you get one exorcism.
Do you want me to cut that?
Well, no, I don't believe that, but there are some people that do believe that.
Okay.
I can't wait to get married.
Hi, Leah. Hi, Carolia. How you
She's
doing?
the girl of my dreams.
Literally.
We're also joined today by barely moved in before he was possessed, BlakeHolder.
What up?
Man,
that sounds terrible, man.
Yeah, you just walked in that house and you got struck in by a demon, man.
I feel like we're hitting all the classic horror tropes, what I mean?
We got to.
I barely got here. Now I'm possessed.
Into the house,
isn't that just the millennial story? We just get somewhere, we finally get something done, and then it's just all you're fighting the devil.
Is that the millennial story?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Take of that what you will. Layers, folks.
No.
Symbolism. What's the symbology there, Adam?
Symbology.
Symbolism.
Well, it was a nice.
So what up, man? How was your guys' week?
Good, man.
Yeah, it's funny because we talked to each other yesterday, so it's kind of getting back into that.
It's like, have we ever done this where we recorded one episode and recorded another day after? I know we did one 2 or 3 days
usually
apart. We did one 2 or 3 days apart because me and Blake were going away I was going to Florida, he was going to Boston.
That is true.
And even that felt weird. But back-to-back days like this is interesting.
It is. It brings a different vibe. Yeah, no, it was a busy week for me. I don't even know if that was directed towards me. I think it was towards Blake to begin with. But how was everyone's weeks?
Good, man.
Good, yeah, not bad. It's a regular Monday, trying to start the week strong and keep it pushing, man.
Did you get thrown off because of the holiday last week? Because I did. I felt like I've been a day off all week.
That holiday last Monday fucked me, dude. I mean, that's when I ended up hitting the group chat last week, and I was like, dude, I totally forgot it was Monday.
Yeah.
So
if anyone was curious,
full work week is like, that feels like a nightmare, dude, as an adult. After you've had like a elongated weekend, and you got to go back to full 5 days. It's like, oh my God.
Oh, yeah, it's brutal.
Hey, you want to turn Blake up a tad bit?
You want Blake louder?
Just a tad.
Blake, you're louder.
Oh, that's perfect. Listeners, I hope that's good for you.
What is that, Black Eyed Peas?
Yeah.
Who just said that?
Yeah, that was me.
That's what I thought.
Pump it up louder.
Well,
turn the radio louder. Yeah.
I don't really know how to transition out of that extremely energetic and enthusiastic intro to the pod, but we're going to do it anyway. Let's get into the news, guys.
Get into the news.
One news story for the week, a rather slow news week. But, ladies and gentlemen, Cruella sequel in the works at Disney. This is pretty soon after the launch of Cruella, which is, 2 weeks ago?
Means they made money.
Yeah, they made quite a bit to be exact. The film has earned $485 million globally.
Oh, wow.
And I believe that's just in theaters. I don't think that includes the $30 price tag on Disney Plus that you can pay to watch as well.
Signs of life from
which
the
is-
movie industry.
Yeah, that's decent, especially for, I guess we're still kind of pandemic territory, even though we're on the other side, it seems like. But
For sure.
still 48.5 million.
Oh, 48? I thought you said 485.
No, 48.5.
Got it.
Did you
That
get
is
a
less.
chance to see that
That is a
movie,
lot
Ty?
less.
Leah,
Yes,
and
I was
did
going to ask, has
not.
anyone seen it?
No.
Okay.
To quote one of my friends who have seen it, it is flames. But I've also heard other people say that it is not flames. So, bit of a mixed bag.
Yeah. From to your point, from some of the stuff I've seen online, they say it's pretty good. So we'll see.
Must be
Still
if it's
probably
getting a
not
sequel.
enough to get me to watch it, or at least not pay $30 to go watch it on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
But I guess I could go to the theater, so I basically just completely lied to you guys, and I still haven't seen it, so probably won't watch it.
Yeah, I'll maybe wait till this one comes to Disney Plus regularly, like Rhea did.
For sure.
I'll try and go see this.
Yeah, you're still gonna.
Yeah,
you're still
I
gonna
do
take
have
it on
a
try?
busy schedule coming up, but I still want to try and go see this.
Sure.
Now that movies are open, it's just one of those really easy, like, little date things that Leah and I can do, and she knows I love the movies, so, and she likes going to see the movies too.
The movies. Have you seen that? Did you guys see that Fast and Furious 9 promo that had Vin Diesel narrate over the top of it? And it was just like, the movies. We know you've missed it. In
No.
like his Vin Diesel voice.
No.
It's really great. Everyone go find that. Because he's just randomly addressing the audience.
That's funny.
He might even drop a family in there too as well. It's
Wow.
pretty great. It's full Fast and Furious.
Yeah. Isn't it like the catch on Fast 9? It's like he's always preaching family, but then it's like fucking John Cena, and he's like, you turned your back on your own family.
Yeah, that's the hook, man.
Ooh,
Wow, and it's John Cena, yeah.
they're going to space, right?
We're all going to space.
Oh well,
Everybody's going to space.
that's true.
I don't know if they're. I wouldn't be surprised if they get there at like Fast 11.
I think they're scraping space.
Yeah,
in
that's
this
what I
one.
heard. I thought this one is the space one.
But it's like that's not a joke. You're being.
Yeah, no, I'm being for real.
No,
I'm
I'm
pretty
pretty
sure
sure.
they're going to space in this one.
Oh,
That's what
man.
everyone's kind of joking about. Is that Fast and Furious is going to space?
Yeah, you might get that in Avengers crossover. Who called that? Was that Nathaniel? Or somebody said that recently?
There was news out this week that there was early talks at one point that I think Universal wanted to cross the Jurassic World and Fast and Furious franchises.
I will literally lose my mind.
I would like that. Yeah, who doesn't want to see Vin Diesel?
There was
fight
also
dinosaurs?
there was rumors at
Via
one point
cars.
Mission Impossible, which I could actually get behind. I think that'd
Yeah,
be
no,
kind of
yeah,
fun.
Oh my goodness. Do we need that though?
I think Tom Cruise is washing the Fast and the Furious group, though. That's just my personal. opinion.
You think Ethan Hunt takes him down?
Yeah, Easily.
It's a bold claim. I'll buy it though.
All of them? You think it's
all of the
Ethan
family?
Hunt 1 versus
man.
the family?
I've seen him do some crazy shit in those movies.
I don't know, man. He ain't fighting The Rock and Vin Diesel and getting out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
John
That's
Cena. All right, so let's get to the actual news.
Yeah.
Cruella 2, huh?
Cruella 2. Same director, same writer, it looks like.
Who did direct that?
It's director Craig Gillespie
Hmm.
and screenwriter Tony McNamara.
Don't know either of those names, but I feel like I might have heard of Gillespie before.
Yeah, I think so too. I can try to look up his IMDb.
But who knows? Could just be one of those names that sounds like a name you've heard before.
Oh, he
True.
looks very directory. He's got one of those newsboy hats on.
Oh, well,
Yeah. He's an Australian film director,
okay.
best known for his films Lars and The Real Girl
Oh, okay.
and I, Tonya.
Got it, yeah.
So there you go.
So-
Finest Hours, I believe that's the Chris Pine one with, I forgot who's else.
Oh,
stars in that.
he's an oil man that's out on an oil rig and something?
No, that's the something Horizon. This is
Well, yeah, that's also... Oh, he's a Coast Guard boy.
he's Coast Guard boy, yeah. And then also $1 Million Arm, the one with John Hamm,
Ah,
where he goes to
I saw
India.
that, yeah.
Yeah, I saw that one too. It's all right. Yeah, that I'm looking at his IMDb. Not a ton more than that, but
Okay.
he's done
well,
some stuff. I, Tanya's great.
I have
really
not seen
like
I,
that.
Tonya.
Really,
Yeah.
I think you'd like it.
I probably would.
I don't know if you'd love it, but I think you would like it.
Okay. It's always on Hulu, I feel like.
It is.
It's somewhere. It's somewhere. It's definitely worth a watch though.
Alright.
Margot Robbie's really good in it, and so is Sebastian Stan.
Ah.
Yeah, he's really good too. All right, well, that's it for the news. Like I said, slow news week. Not even any trailer talk to get to, so we're just going to roll right on into Adam Schwartz's completely subjective new to streaming list for the week of, would it be June 6th through June 12th?
Sure, we'll go with that.
Yeah, no, that's right. I accidentally wrote 5/6 to 5/12, and it threw me off for
Oh
a second.
my gosh.
I realized we're no longer in May. It is indeed June. To Netflix. We got not a lot, but there's a original coming. It's called Awake. It's a sci-fi thriller set in a world where electronics are wiped out and humans lose the ability to sleep.
I feel like if there was less electronics, I would sleep better.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Stupid name.
This
Co-sign.
has kind of been done before. Are you guys familiar with Rooster Teeth?
They're the animation studio.
They did
that-
Red versus Blue.
Yeah.
They do Ruby.
Yeah,
I brought them up at least once before.
I haven't. I think that's how I know them from you
Yeah.
on this podcast.
Yes. But they did a show called Day 5, where it was the same concept where like humanity, if you fall asleep, you die. So it's like everybody's trying to stay awake for as long as possible, but on like 5 days of no sleep, your body just like collapses. So,
So it's like a Nightmare on Elm Street, but for everyone.
sure, yeah, kind of.
Cool.
Yeah. That's it for Netflix. Amazon Prime and Hulu, you got nothing, which is very unfortunate. But HBO Max has Billy on the Street. I'm not sure what seasons. It might be the most recent ones.
I thought you were going to say I'm not sure which street.
All of them.
All of them. Have
Sesame.
you guys seen Billy on the Street?
I have not.
It's Billy Eichner, I believe is his name, and he did. He's the voice of Seth Rogen in Lion King. Seth Rogen's the warthog, but then
Puma. And Billy Eichner would be Timon.
yeah, he was the other one, not the warthog, but the
Timon.
muskrat. I
The
think.
meerkat.
Yeah, sure, yeah, meerkat. And he was in The Office. Like he's a pretty well known comedian. You might recognize him if you've seen him, but he does. He did a series for a while, I think in like 2011, 2012, or maybe even a little bit later than that. But it was like him just on the street, either alone talking to strangers, doing like random like in your face kind of thing, and then he also had some where he'd like bring celebrities and be like, he had one where he had Seth Rogen pretend to be his camera guy. He was just asking strangers like, "Hey, what do you think of Seth Rogen?" And the guy would be like,
I know you're
"Hey,
talking
he
about.
kind of sucks." And then
Yeah.
Seth Rogen would
Got
just
it.
come from behind the camera and be like, "Hey, what the fuck?" So it's actually pretty funny. I've seen most of the first season, or maybe all the first season, and like half the second, and then he just got. I think I forgot what streaming service or internet like website or whatever paid for it, but they funded a third season. So it's coming. I don't know which seasons, but some of it is coming to HBO Max.
Nice.
Okay.
So it's definitely, if you're kind of just looking for some like dumb fun reality TV to kind of just throw up there, it's actually pretty funny. He's got an eccentric personality, so it kind of fits. It doesn't feel really that cringy or anything like that. It is actually pretty good.
Yeah, he genuinely doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
And you can tell. It's cool.
Oh, so you've seen some of his stuff too?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm. He's funny. I love him in Parks and Rec too. His character's hilarious.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah. And then also to HBO Max, In the Heights. This is straight to streaming with theaters.
This is the Lin-Manuel Miranda
Yeah,
joint.
this is Lin-Manuel Miranda. I think he wrote the original play and starred in it. And I don't think he stars in this one, but I believe he does direct.
Well, yeah, it's his boy though from Hamilton.
Yeah,
right?
I think it's Anthony Ramos. Something Ramos.
Who plays his actual son in Hamilton too, right?
He plays not Lafayette. He plays John Lawrence and his son Philip in Hamilton. In the Heights, it is not. Let's see, directed by John M. Chu.
Oh, so he's the one that's he does big dance number movies.
Okay, and Lin-Manuel Miranda did some of the screenwriting. He co-wrote it with.
Yeah, I feel like he wrote the original draft. Or
I'm
something
pretty
like
sure
that,
he
maybe.
wrote the original play. I'm almost
Okay.
positive.
Sure, yeah, that would make sense.
And then I think he was obviously attached to adapt it.
This feels like
And yes, it is Anthony Ramos. So I was correct on there.
Sharks and Jets, West Side Story.
Yeah,
In some ways.
Sure.
it looks like Lin-Manuel is also starring in it as Paraguay. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Piragua guy, Piragua guy.
I'm sure we'll have a funny and great song about it. Probably introducing him.
So yeah, but he's like 8th down on this IMDb list, so he might be in it a decent amount. I just haven't seen him in any of the trailers. I don't really know. It's supposed to be a very good play or musical on Broadway, and so maybe this is a decent. It's different from the Hamilton one. The Hamilton.
I figured you'd be
thing.
more in on this. You're such a big fan of Hamilton.
I love Hamilton, but I think I part of it is so much of the historical mixing of musical and history. And I love what he does with lyrically with everything he puts into it because I'm a big history guy and everything like that. But I'll probably actually check this out just because you're right. I liked Hamilton a lot and see how similar this is. But musicals in general, at least Broadway musicals, are not like my favorite thing.
Oh, okay.
Hamilton just struck a chord with me, and it was more of like a one-off love. But maybe I'll like this one too. I might check it out and report back.
I'll be curious to see what like Megan and Danielle and Maricela and Gundy think because they're all obsessed with Hamilton.
I like a good musical.
Yeah, I can't go wrong. It scratches a certain itch every once in a while, Yeah.
Yeah, but they have like an odd obsession with Hamilton.
Hamilton's
it's
got
like
those
level
that
for
fandom
them.
that's
Yeah. I love Hamilton, don't get me wrong.
Yes, I know. You're one of them.
Fantastic.
A Hamill fan.
A Hamill fan. I haven't actually watched it in a while. I watched it like 3 times in like the first month it came out.
That's like 12 hours.
It's a 3-hour-long play. Hey man, it's worth it. It's good. It's catchy.
I would argue it is good.
Yeah.
Shocking. Hot take, folks. Hamilton, pretty good. Moving on.
And your last thing, the HBO Max, the 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Great
Nice.
movie.
Yeah.
Better than Hamilton, in my opinion.
That's a classic comedy.
Yeah,
for sure.
that's another classic comedy. We had a few come to HBO
That's
Max.
Steve
last week.
Carell, right?
Yeah, Steve Carell, Paul Rudd,
Yeah.
who of course looks
I
exactly the
forgot
same.
Paul Rudd's in that too.
Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen.
Didn't we say Paul Rudd was just one of those guys we just like end up finding in every movie somehow?
Yeah, he's in
kinda
a lot
is,
more
yeah.
than you think he is.
Yeah.
It's one of
Yeah, I
Kevin
totally
Hart's
forgot he
big
was in 40.
debuts on
Yeah,
film.
that's right.
Oh, he is in there.
Oh
yes.
yeah, I forgot about that. He's in the
Elizabeth
video
Banks
store, right?
is the crazy chick that he meets at the
Yeah.
bookstore too.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is a good
Yeah.
one.
Go Good call. I totally forgot about Kevin Hart being in that.
So funny.
Yeah, that's a funny movie. I might have to see if I can.
It was
rewatch
great.
HBO Max, man. And then to Disney Plus, we're getting Loki episode 1 on. I think it's the 13th. It's not going to be on Fridays. It's on Wednesdays. It looks like at least this first episode is releasing on a Wednesday.
It's on Wednesday the 13th.
Yeah, I believe it's the 13th.
Not as catchy as Friday.
No, it's not. I think it's the 13th. I could be wrong.
I'm a big fan of 13.
Let me check the calendar. I don't want to forget what day that Wednesday is. It is the 16th. I am so off. I'm so sorry.
Which would be Friday?
No, that's a Wednesday.
Interesting.
June 16th is definitely Wednesday.
That sounded like I was really emo. 13 is just also my birth date is a 13th, so I always like 13s. There we go. I'm not just like, oh.
And also coming to Disney Plus on a Friday, Bad Batch episode 7.
Nice.
The 13th?
Is that the 13th? Monday, Tuesday, Friday,
The 13th.
Thursday.
Wait, no, it's
Wednesday.
Wednesday the 9th. I don't even know. I'm looking at the wrong
Bro,
week.
you're out of control here.
I am out of control.
What day is it now?
I was thinking it was launching next week. I'm pretty
So
sure
is
it's
the
launching
9th
this
a
week.
Wednesday?
Yes, the 9th is a Wednesday. The 16th is also a Wednesday.
What am I?
This episode's just been all over the place. I'm glad that last night's episode went so well, so listeners won't be disappointed this week.
I don't think they'll be disappointed about this.
All right. Well, I am. So far.
Sorry.
There's the door.
Just trying to bring the energy up, folks.
Yeah. All right. Loki, Wednesday the 9th. Bad Batch, Friday the 11th. Does that suit your tie?
I think so.
Okay.
Works for me.
Cool. Let's get out of this mess of a new to streaming list and get into what we're watching.
What have you been watching?
I have been watching. I've only got 2 things on my list. I haven't been watching a lot, but I went over to Ty's to watch The Conjuring.
Oh.
Yeah, you did.
We had a good time doing that, but then after that,
Okay.
we switched gears to The Fast and the Furious.
Numero uno.
Numero
Yes.
uno, my first time watching it.
Wow.
And you know what? I'm in, man. I'm in. I loved it. I had never really understood the mass appeal for Fast and the Furious, but I'm watching this and I'm like, this is its own universe where just street racing is like the thing. And that's what people do. And I was telling Ty, this feels like another thing where it could just be an anime, like a car anime, and I'd be so into it. And it's just kind of live action. I don't know. That's just kind of the vibe I got from it, and that's how I was kind of watching it. And I don't know if that's how everyone's gonna watch it, but that's how that's kind of like how I took it, and I was in. I was just kind of rocking with it.
Interesting. Okay. I haven't heard that take before, but I'm not opposed to it.
To me, it didn't feel like this was supposed to be like a real our universe, or like our real life or anything. It wasn't supposed to be accurate or anything like that. It was like just like
Heightened.
these are exactly, everything was heightened, but almost like a John Wick kind of thing, where it's like this is just how the world is, and people just are into drag racing like this.
Interesting.
And, and that's how I just kind of went into it, and as I was watching it, I was in.
I think I find it interesting that like that your almost immediate reaction is to just kind of accept the world as that is like fully formed, and that even if it is heightened, to kind of, I don't know, almost not close yourself off to it, but compartmentalize that a little bit more. And I wonder if that is just kind of where we've built ourselves up to in terms of having these almost franchises and in that fandom. I wonder if that gets tied into it a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, it just kind of felt like I had to separate it, because if I took
Sure.
this too seriously, then I knew I wouldn't like it.
Okay.
And so by separating it and just saying, hey, this is its own thing, this is its own universe, I was able to enjoy it more.
Well,
And
maybe
I
that's
was able to hop on.
that it speaks then to the success of film's ability to allow you to just go into that mode, to slip into that kind of area of accepting the heightened reality.
Sure,
too.
yeah.
I think it's very different too, seeing as like what you have kind of predetermined what that universe is before
Sure.
even watching the first one. Whereas like
We came
I
up to it
watched it
naturally. Yeah.
on like what was that, 2000?
Yeah.
Maybe 01.
Yeah.
Yeah. Different time for sure.
And like that was the first time we're seeing it, and like that's when like cars were first like becoming a
was
big
still on
scene
VHS.
thing, right? So it was like, and like that shit like happened, like that was like I don't know if like the heist and everything. That
Well,
happened, but there were people lining up for like street races and shit like that, and like illegal stuff, like racing.
The name came from the article that it was based off of, which was this groups of street racers out in the California deserts and everything that were actually doing these street races in these tuner cars, basically.
But it's crazy to see like where it's come to now.
Yeah, of course. Not even in the same
where
realm.
it started. Yeah,
well, yeah, because that's the other thing is I know I've heard constantly about how Fast 9's going to space and all that stuff, and so I kind of know where it's going.
Yeah,
and that's also going to help me watch the rest of these movies.
Yeah, sure.
Is just kind of separating it.
Yeah, it's the first is so much more grounded.
Yes.
And even if it is in its own heightened world, once you get to 2, like 2 is just we can do a whole episode on the Fast and Furious, and we will. So
yeah, we'll get there. But yeah, I enjoyed it though. It was so fun.
Good.
There's so many good lines, like just one-liners that are so quotable. And watching with Ty was fun because he
knows every word. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So it was a lot of fun, and Vin Diesel's great, but also looks very young. And now I kind of understand the whole Paul Walker thing and how everyone was very sad. I really didn't know who Paul Walker was when he died.
Sure.
And I knew everyone was sad. I knew he was in Fast and Furious, but I had no context for it.
That's one that hit me hard.
Yeah.
Almost had you, bro.
You never had me.
R.I.P. Paul Walker.
It was really hard for me not to like quote things that were like
Iconic.
well, like not even iconic, but like the fact that Brian's a cop.
Oh, sure.
You know what I mean? So I'm like,
Brian Spillner or whatever. Is that his fake name?
Yeah,
Brian
it is.
Earl Spillner,
Yeah.
So like it was hard for me to be like, not like say those things beforehand because I'm so used to like everybody knowing them and like me just being able to say them where I'm like, oh shit, he actually doesn't know that he's an undercover cop.
No, it was good though. It
was fun.
We'll definitely be hopping on and watching the rest of those as we build up for Fast 9.
Yeah, dope.
Yeah. And then the other thing I've been watching, I'm not sure how you guys are going to feel about this. And Nathaniel, I know you're against the term guilty pleasure, but this is almost like a guilty pleasure. And especially as I've been watching, I'm like, wow, I shouldn't be. This is not that great, and it hasn't aged well. But I've been rewatching Master of None on Netflix. The Aziz Ansari.
I never saw it.
I didn't either.
Yeah, it was popular when it came out.
Yeah, I remember everyone kind of praising it for being groundbreaking and like awesome and super cool and like a great example of modern life.
It is for the time, but it's just like since that show's come out, like there's things that have either done the same thing but better, or just things that have, or that kind of show has evolved a little bit to be a little bit more modern. And so like even watching it, I was just looking up. First season came out I think in 2015.
Okay.
So honestly, not even that long ago, 6 years, but it feels longer than that.
Okay.
Like I was about to say, it feels like it was like 2013.
I wanted to say that's when it was.
Yeah, but 2015 even it does sound more recent than I thought it was. But regardless, it's still good, but it's not like the groundbreaking show like it was when it came out.
Okay.
The reason I watched it is the first time I watched it was about 2.5 years ago. I think back when I first really got my TV and my Apple TV set up and everything, and that was like really the first time that I delved into streaming that much. Because before then, didn't have a TV in my room or anything like that. Didn't have a laptop. All I had was my phones, and I would just game a lot. And so once I got my OLED and TV and everything, I kind of had to catch up on a lot of things that other people had already seen. And this was one that I think was just maybe the second season had came out recently or whatever it was. But really, really liked it when I first watched it. And I saw recently that the third season just came out because obviously all that stuff about Aziz Ansari came out. And so that's kind of, I think, what put it on pause for a while.
Oh, okay.
At least the second season, which
I didn't realize there was a big break. I thought all of that had kind of come out after that show had quote unquote wrapped or went on hiatus.
2015, by the way.
That's the first season. I'm trying to find out when the second season was because it was not too long after.
Were you a big Aziz fan from like his Parks and Rec days?
I liked him in Parks and Rec.
Okay.
I did a lot. I've seen I think 2 of his stand-up specials on Netflix. He did one in 2019 that I've seen. That's actually pretty good. This is after everything came out about him, and he kind of had to took some time off, and then he starts his comedy special off with apologizing both to the audience in the theater, of course, and then to people watching it at home. And he seems pretty genuine, and he honestly seems a lot more tame and mature in that special.
Yeah,
like he's kind of just taken a lot of time to self-reflect, and maybe has just come down and changed his comedy style, because it's not like the super silly high energy comedy in that special. It's much more he's kind of just sitting there talking and telling stories.
I might like that one better, because I confess to never ever really being a big Aziz fan.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good. And I can totally understand why people don't like him.
Yeah.
He's not.
He just was never really funny to me.
Sure, and even as I'm watching this season back, because I'm only on the first season, so I haven't completely finished it. He's like, some of his jokes and some of the writing, it doesn't hit.
Gotcha.
And maybe it just might be that 6-year gap, and maybe that's why it didn't age so well. It's not that well written.
Well, comedy just notoriously ages fast.
Yeah,
too.
that's true too. So it's been a little rough going back to it, because when I first watched it, it was pretty fresh to me, and I did like it a lot. I felt like it was funny. And then the other thing about it is the first season is also a love story that's actually very sweet and actually hits home pretty hard. So when I saw that the third season came out, I was like, let's give this a rewatch. And so it hasn't been as good as I wanted to go for the first season. The second season, I remember not liking as much, and it's also another love story. And I don't even know the premise of this third season, but I'm interested to see how it has changed compared to the first two once I get there. So I'll probably be updating you guys either next week or the week after, whenever I catch up and watch all 3 seasons.
So you're committing?
Yeah, I think I am, just because I did really like it when I watched those first 2 seasons.
Sure.
And if the third season can be more modern and hit for me again like that, I'd be very pleased.
Okay.
But I'd also be kind of shocked if it did, because watching this first season back, I'm not sure if the writing and style of that show will be sophisticated enough to hold up. But maybe they change it completely, and maybe that time away, because I think it's probably been 3 or 4 years since the second season. Maybe that time away, they've changed how they want to do the show, and because I haven't seen the third season yet, so I'm interested to see what they'll do with it. But yeah, watching the first season, I think I'm on episode 8 or something like that. It's different, but still liking it overall. Liking it. But yeah, we'll have to see. I'll let you guys know and update you when I get to the third season if it's worth maybe going back and checking out.
Okay.
Yeah, but those are the only 2 things I watched this week. So I'll toss that over to BlakeHolder. What you been up to, man?
Blake.
Yeah, man. I had a slow week last week. Didn't get to much. This past week, I actually got to rewatching The Wire. I forgot what day it was. It might have been last Thursday, or so. It came across online that it was like the 18-year anniversary when it came out, and that's when I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna go ahead and rewatch it.
I need to go in on The Wire at some point.
Yeah, man.
That's kind of considered, it might be the best television show of all time for a lot of people.
Yeah.
You're definitely right, and a lot of people have said that. I've seen it because I have some recollection.
Yeah, that was on your top 10 movies or TV show list, right?
Right. So yeah, I've always watched it like with my dad growing up, and then I rewatched it once in college. So that was probably like 5 years ago.
So did you catch it live? When did you and your dad catch it live, or was it like he showed it to you kind of thing?
It was kind of more of like the older I got, the more I'd be like, hey, what are you watching? He would always be watching The Wire.
Got it.
And that's kind of like how I picked up on it. I'm sure he probably did watch it live though in like 2003 or whatever the release date was.
But he was rewatching it when you remember watching it like for the first time and stuff. Got it.
Correct.
Cool.
Yeah. So caught that a few times, and I wanted to dive back in that. And yeah, man, I'm getting hooked again. So I'm definitely going to keep following up on that. And there's like 5 seasons of that. So definitely like a good chunk to go through, you know what I mean? So I think that'll hold me down for a while, and I'm just going to try to go ahead and get through that again. But yeah, that's got everybody in it. It's got, there's a young Michael B. Jordan in it. For those of you who don't know, he's probably like 12 years old.
I did not know he was in that.
Idris Elba's in that. Yeah, there's a lot of people. It's good. What were you going to say, Nathaniel?
Is that I know that was HBO, so is that like 12 episodes a season, or is that back in the day where they're still doing like 24?
No, I think it's 12.
Okay.
I know the first season is 12 because I think I'm on like episode 3 right now. Restarted it. But yeah, they're all about an hour plus episodes, right? They're like an hour 10 or so for the most part. But yeah, man, it's good. I would go on par to say it's one of my favorite shows ever. And a lot of people hold it pretty high if you like your Breaking Bads and things of that nature. Kind of a different genre, obviously, but just that quality of film.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that definitely, if you guys can check that out. That's on HBO Max, by the way, too.
How many seasons?
5 seasons, I believe.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll definitely keep you guys posted on that. But yeah, that's all I got to.
Nice.
I actually wanted to get to The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Bro, I was thinking about that too. We'll talk about that in a
yeah.
little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I wanted to watch it, Nathaniel. I think me and you were already kind of clicking on that. But I couldn't get across to watching it, so I kind of shoot myself.
Is that streaming anywhere? Do we know?
I kind of half looked, but then not really. You know what I mean?
What's it
I don't
called?
think
The
I found it
Exorcism
anywhere, so I was kind of
of
like,
who?
fuck it.
The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Mhm.
That feels like it would be like on a Tubi or something.
Right.
According to Just Watch, it's not really. It's on Stars, but then you can rent it on Amazon and YouTube and all those
Yeah,
places.
maybe that's what shied me away from not being able to
Sure.
find it anywhere like really quickly. But yeah, so that's all I got too. I mean, I'll pass it off to. We'll go to Nathaniel.
Yeah. So I was just kind of collecting my list, and I realized I was just all over the place this week. But I got to a lot of stuff, but I didn't go. And I kind of finished a lot of stuff. So I got to a couple episodes more of Fire Force, just kind of continuing that.
How many seasons of that are there?
I believe.
I might have asked. I even asked this last
if
time.
not 2 or 3.
Two
at this,
or three.
Definitely
Okay.
2, maybe 3.
Okay.
I'm into season 2 at this point. It does that kind of classic anime thing where you finish the first arc and then you kind of like open up into the wider world, and you have to kind of like the status quo starts to change a little bit.
Okay.
And I'm not super loving the direction we're going
You're
at
not
the
sold
moment.
on that expanded world.
Yeah,
Okay.
just kind of like the rest of everything that's going
Yeah.
on. I don't know. I think I kind of liked it a little bit more when it was like a little bit more simple story things, but we'll see. I'm
Sure.
still definitely like I'm bought in enough to finish out the
finish it,
season.
yeah.
I think.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just gonna it'll keep it from like kind of that top tier for me for sure.
Ty, have you seen this? Are you like caught up?
I'm only through season 2, which
Okay.
is all was available to me at
Sure.
the time. So I honestly don't know.
How do you
if
feel
there's-
about my feelings there? Do you think I'll come back around a little bit more?
Maybe. I haven't watched that show in a while,
Yeah.
so
I know you
have
like
to do a rewatch. But
binged it
season
at the
1
time.
is very, very good to the
Yeah.
point where it gets you bought in pretty quick and pretty easily. So
Sure.
I'm not surprised that you're probably falling off a little bit.
Sure. What else did I get to? We watched. I think you might have seen an episode of this as well. We watched the first couple episodes of Megalobox. Did you get to that at all?
Oh, that's that other anime.
Yeah.
I did not.
Okay. So that's an anime on Funimation. I want to say it's streaming somewhere else as well, but it's like a boxing anime, but like it's like kind of like Real Steel. Like it's guys, but they actually have like exoskeletons on their arms, and then they're basically boxing. And the
Are they boxing themselves in these exoskeletons, or are they like?
yeah, they're boxing
controlling
each
them?
other. Like it's me and
Okay.
you, and then we have almost extra gear on top of us.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it's kind of like Real Steel meets like the exosuits from like Elysium or
How
something
how
like that.
close is this to the Nintendo Switch game Arms?
Not too dissimilar.
Okay.
Think like the main guy is more like Jax from Mortal Kombat, in
Okay.
which like they look kind of, or the main villain I should say, they look almost like actual arms.
Yeah.
But the main guy, who's obviously an outsider, who goes by the name like Junk Joe or something like that. His is kind of like the older system that's like more gears and on
Gotcha.
the outsides of the arms and everything. It's cool. It's got almost like it came out in 2018, but it has kind of an older style animation feel to it. But it's just kind of really that clearer too. It's interesting.
I kind of get what you're saying by that, and that sounds really interesting.
Yeah.
Like a Bebop kind of deal.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
like Bebop, but like it's like purposefully that kind of older.
It's a
style.
crisp modern Bebop.
Yeah, like you can see like the edges are like these still really defined lines, but they're also kind of like that scratchier
Gotcha.
look to
Yeah.
it. So yeah, it's interesting.
Okay.
I I was less bought into it. Waz really liked it, but so I'll probably be along for that, I'm sure. Got a couple episodes into Final Space season 2 as well. That's one that also kind of has a notorious kind of drop off in season 2, and you definitely do feel that a little bit more.
Okay.
Apparently, it comes back around in season 3, according to Waz as well, but we'll see. We've got 1 episode left of Invincible now, so we're chugging along with that.
How you liking that, dude?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It is more different from the comic than I was anticipating, actually.
That's what I've heard.
So that is interesting, and kind of will be, looking forward to where they go with that in the future, for sure. But definitely worth checking out. Tyler, you're gonna like that a lot.
Yeah, Tyler, I'm surprised you haven't hopped on this yet. It's right up your alley.
Which one is that?
Invincible, the Amazon.
Oh
Prime one.
yeah. I've been doing majority of my TV watching in the living room, and I don't have like one of my consoles out there, so I don't have access to anything. So I've been very lazy on getting my account set up from various people because, as I've stated before, I do not pay for any streaming service except for YouTube Premium, so I use everybody else's accounts.
Alrighty then.
Sue me.
So yeah, played a little bit more Resident Evil 8. Almost done with that, I think.
The Rapscallion.
That's right. The Rapscallion's back. Watched 2 more episodes and Love, Death, and Robots.
Season 2.
Season 2. Yep.
I haven't gone back yet. I'm going
2.
to, but I haven't yet.
Oh, sorry, volume 2.
Volume 2.
Yeah, volume 2. Those, according to IMDb, were the 2 highest rated episodes this season. So that'll be that. Take from that what you will.
Sure.
I thought they were kind of like Tyler was saying, mid to upper mid tier from season 1, but none of it has really kind of captured me in the same way season 1 did, for sure.
We talked about it a little bit at work. I think I saw like the Mad Max one that you were talking about. Which was good. I love the animation on it. Story wise, it was kind of it was fine. But like the animation is really cool.
Yeah,
I liked it a lot.
Sorry, I've been hopping around on my list here. So the other ones that we did. So Waz and I got to Shin Godzilla, and on this one, I actually wanted to do the dub because I did the sub first.
That's the Anno one, right?
Yes, yeah. Okay. So it came out in America as Godzilla Resurgence, I want to say. Okay. It's the one that's pretty controversial. Man, the dub sucks.
Ooh.
It's so bad. And I am kind of notorious. Well, I don't know why I say notorious. I'm not that notorious. I'm not that famous. But personally, I don't ever really hate the dub that much. I think any way that you can get into something, it's good for you. I watch a lot of animes with the dubs on. I watch a lot of animes with the subs on as well too. This is definitely one that, man, the switch from sub to dub is just hard, yeah,
very difficult
and jarring. And I'm not surprised if you guys watch the dub version, because Tyler has always been pretty hard against Shin Godzilla, and if you watch the dub version, I can understand why. But yeah, still an awesome movie, but man, that dub almost ruined it for me. So watch it, but watch the sub. And then the last thing, I actually finished off Drive to Survive, which will be my link to Tyler, I'm sure. Beyond all 3 Conjurings this week, this was the other big thing that I got to. It's a great show, and I'm fully in on Formula One now, so here we go. It has been since MMA that I have gone like just fully this deep dive into something, I think, into a point of where I've just kind of gone, well, this will be one of my new things in the future. So yeah, it's Drive to Survive is a great show. It's it's told well. If you haven't listened to us in the past weeks, Drive to Survive centers around Formula One. There's 3 seasons of the show on Netflix at this point. It starts with the 2018 season, and then you have 2019, and obviously last year being 2020. That just came out as well. Each season focuses on the 20 drivers in Formula One and the kind of 10 teams that make up everything together. It's very high-stakes drama. There's a lot of emotions. There's a lot of skill. There's a lot of engineering. It's crazy. Go watch it.
A lot of money.
There's a lot of money. There's a lot of beautiful locations. It's a really, really cool show. Cool. It's a really cool sport. We're excited. Tyler, take it away.
It's funny because I told you about that show and you've already finished it. Yep. I have not.
Sorry.
No, it's great. I love when I can make suggestions and people take to them that quickly. And obviously, that just goes to show you that how captivating this series is.
Mm-hmm. Where are you at on it then, Ty?
It was and the thing is, it wasn't one that I even binged. It was it's a show that I would catch an episode in the morning, and then I would make sure I'd have enough time as my wind down show at night, and then I just worked through it.
Yeah,
and it goes by so quick.
It makes you want to watch it.
Yeah.
I think I'm on episode 6-ish
of season 3.
So I'm almost done.
Yeah,
there's only 10 episodes, So yeah, got a couple more episodes of that, and it's just been really great. Like Nathaniel said, it's been a long time since I've really wanted to dive head into a sport like this, and it's maddening how much I really like this sport, and it's crazy that I didn't take to it sooner, just because I obviously have a passion for cars, and I've obviously been introduced to this sport before. I just never really took to it that much. So, but yeah, it's ridiculously good. Go watch it, and then talk to me and Nathaniel and Matt if you're listening, and Sam if you listen. We're trying to get more people to go to the 2022 Miami Grand Prix, because we're trying to get like an Airbnb or something like that, a little less expensive. Your tickets are probably going to be anywhere from like $600-700, but it's if you get into the sport, it'll be worth it. Yeah. So so definitely.
Who knows, man? Maybe I'll check it out, and I'm
dude.
Right
it's
there
cool,
with you
man.
guys in Miami.
Yeah, there's the Amco Grand Prix coming up in October, which is also very tempting, which is down in Texas, and Nathaniel has some connections down there. So who knows? Maybe we'll get to our first one sooner rather than later, or sooner than we ever thought we would. So, but we'll see.
We'll see.
Obviously did Conjuring 1 and 2, got to Fast and Furious. We just watched a little bit of My Hero, which I haven't watched in a while, which was very exciting. So we got through 2 episodes of season 5.
Season 5.
Okay. So that was really great. That's really good to get back onto. We were actually at work today, and I think I was just sitting in the office, and I got a text from Nathaniel, and it was his login information. So I'm like, cool, that'll give me something to do for Funimation. So I was like, cool, I can get back on that. And then Leah and I, in the same night that we watched Conjuring 1 and Fast and the Furious, watched the Pixar movie Home.
That's not Pixar. That's
not
DreamWorks.
Pixar? Is it? Oh, yeah, because he's sitting on the moon. Yeah. Either way, it's animated. It was cute. It's not, like the greatest movie in the world, but it is cute.
Don't sully Pixar's name.
Whatever.
That's a squad with, I think, the highest hit rate out there. Like,
yeah.
That's the Mercedes. Let me put this in some language you can understand.
Yeah. That's a 6-time world champion.
Yeah, that's Mercedes now, bro.
Got it. I got it. Oh yeah, I guess we haven't really even talked about this, just for shits and giggles. Have you dedicated to a team? Yeah.
I don't know. No, I don't think so.
Is this like Pokemon?
Tyler has gone very much in on
full in on Toro Rosso, Red Bull.
Red Bull and Max Verstappen.
Yeah, Max is my boy. I was really early in on Daniel Ricciardo.
Saying I think that's my guy.
That's because he was on Red Bull, and I think he had really good potential there. And then he went to Renault, and Renault's just kind of shit on everything. And yeah, whatever. You'll figure all this out. This is common knowledge. You can go look it up. It's not even, it's not like a show. It's reality. But now he's running with McLaren, and I think he's got some really good promise there, and
I like
Norris
Ricardo.
is a really good teammate. Ricardo's just a likable guy.
Yeah,
he's Australian, so he's the happiest person on the face of the planet, and he's a good person, and you can tell he has a very good love and passion for the sport.
Are there a lot of? Is it mainly European and Australian guys, or is there some American guys, or is it just a good mix?
All
there's
of the world. There's
no
Spanish,
Americans.
Mexican.
Americans? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's an American team, but there's no American drivers.
Gotcha.
France.
Yeah, a lot of them, they come from all over the place, but they all leave home very early and kind of go to Europe to start karting stuff. So there's a lot of Finnish, a lot of Danish kind of that area of Europe as well too. Britain is well represented. Italy, Spain.
I think they have one Japanese driver this year.
Yeah. Germany, it basically, Australia. There's quite a few different ones in there. Canada as well.
Cool.
But yeah, it's very multinational. America it's which is weird because it's technically owned by an American media company, like the actual Formula One brand is, and I think that's why Netflix has so much access to it. I'm sure this is a way that they're trying to grow the sport.
Yep,
for sure.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But yeah, it's definitely just it's a really good show.
Because Formula One, I'm sure is that more popular in Europe than it is here?
Yeah,
100%. Yeah, that's what I figured.
Massive, pretty much anywhere else.
Well,
we're like the last.
Yeah, it's another soccer situation.
Sure. Because we have NASCAR, and that's pretty big here, but
it's massive here.
Yeah. But like Formula One, that's just.
I would argue that NASCAR and Formula One probably bring in maybe close to the same budgets, like globally to each other, NASCAR in itself and Formula One everywhere else. Or it could even be that NASCAR is like that much more. I don't know really what Formula One is.
I really don't know.
They were very concerned after COVID that it might take out like a whole season and everything too. So who knows? We're just getting it. We're just starting.
I think it's just like with the smaller teams, like obviously you see Williams, they had to take a seat because they were just probably out of money and they were dog shit anyways. But
wow.
But anyways,
bit of sizzle.
No, it's not a hot take. It's a fact. Dog shit. Williams Racing. If you ever listen to this, you're dog shit.
I think you guys are trying hard.
Yeah. You know what? Thumbs up, Williams Racing. I don't know who you are, who you represent.
Be excellent to each other, bro.
But yeah, that's all I got. If you just
that was it, huh?
Yeah, that's all I got. I wanted to get through it. So, but then obviously we get on tangents, and Drive to Survive is just it's killer, man.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I'm gonna have to check it out. I will. I think once I finish Master of None, I'll either head over there or maybe to The Wire.
There you go.
Yeah. Or maybe I'll rewatch The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. Oh. Is it worth the rewatch? We're about to find out. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the review segment of the podcast. This week's episode, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. Nathaniel, if the listener here is new or maybe they've just forgotten, can you remind them of how our review segment works here at Back Row Banter?
I suppose. No, I'm just kidding. The way the review segment works here at Back Row Banter, if you are new or if you are returning and haven't or have forgotten, it's broken down into two segments. There's going to be a spoiler section and a non-spoiler section. Pretty simple. In the non-spoiler section, that'll come first. We're going to introduce the movie, talk about its IMDb page, give our first initial thoughts, and make sure we all go around and come to a decision. Are we going to recommend this movie or are we not going to recommend this movie? It has to be one or the other. There is no nuance on the internet. From then on, it'll be spoiler zone. Don't worry, we'll give you a lot of warning beforehand. I'll play this handy little sound just like this. And then it'll be spoiler time. Anything past that, any big spoiler reactions or, the rest of the plot, we'll go over. Any big deeper thoughts, then we'll welcome everyone back after I play the spoiler sound again to see where it ranks on our Entropy list, which is our big list of everything we've watched for the pod so far, ranked. So with that, take it away, Adam. The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It.
What a title.
It sure
Not
is.
The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It, just The Conjuring :
Well, as we discussed last episode, it's a bit of a change, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of.
Do you guys like that instead of just naming it Conjuring 3?
No, I changed it already.
Conjuring 3?
I started calling it The Conjuring. The devil asked me politely to do it.
The devil requested.
The devil made me not make it Conjuring 3. I would have maybe preferred to just be Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It. I don't know. I just like having that number there because it is obviously the third one. And just if this was the second one, sure, you don't have to do the numbered sequels. But like the fact that they did 2 and then it's called The Conjuring 2. And now that they just did the third one and now it's not The Conjuring 3. I don't know. I don't like it.
I'm with you.
It's not, it's at the end of the day, it's not a big deal. But yeah, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. 2021, this is a brand new film, of course. Our first time watching it all the way around. It comes in at an hour and 52 minutes, which we established on this last episode, episode 55, that it's the same runtime as the first one. But yet somehow feels a little bit longer, to me at least. We'll
I don't know
what do you
how
guys feel about that.
Yeah.
Not
think it
too much
runs well.
longer.
Yeah.
It runs
Sure.
pretty well, but I feel like the first one is like grips you so much, and this one just maybe not as much.
Okay.
And it
We'll get into it.
Yeah, we'll get into it. Directed by Michael Chavez, who did which one in the other series? He did.
I wanna say he did Curse of
La Llorona. Yeah.
Yeah, La Llorona.
Which have you guys seen that one?
Nope.
La Corona.
So
Blake, have you seen it?
I have not.
Yeah. Okay. I've heard that one is not so great.
yeah, I believe
heard-
there's another film that came out last year called La Llorona, which is actually supposed to be really good.
Okay.
But yeah, The Curse of La Llorona is supposed to be bad.
Okay.
Yeah, to your point, I think that's kind of just notoriously held to be probably the worst film in this series or in this universe.
I don't know. I've seen
Gotcha.
The Nun. The Nun is not good.
Yeah, I think most people would probably interchange that and The Nun.
Okay.
For the worst film in the series.
Gotcha. This is written by James Wan, Chad Hayes, and David Leslie Johnson McGoldrick.
Well, there's a name.
Yeah. Yeah. It's Johnson McGoldrick is hyphenated. But
So
quite the
I know
title.
Ed Hayes wrote the first two,
Chad.
or Chad Hayes. Sorry, Chad. And James Wan had a story writing / a little bit of writing credits on the first two as well. Did David Jackson Mongolian Hewitt?
David Leslie Johnson McGoldrick.
Yeah, him.
How could you forget?
Was he a writer on the other two as well?
I was looking at what he was writing. He did a few episodes of The Walking Dead. I don't know if he's attached to Aquaman. It looks like he's not the sole writer. But
Okay.
He's attached to Aquaman, and he is a part of the Conjuring 2. It looks like.
Okay,
Um,
interesting.
as a writing, not as a writing. I guess as a writing credit on his IMDb, it is on the Conjuring 2's.
Well, so it's up
He's
for
not.
debate.
Okay, yes, you know what? He is attached to the Conjuring 2 in some form for the writing credits.
Fair
So,
enough.
yes, he's been here before, I guess.
Okay.
We just haven't really recognized him. Starring, of course, Patrick Wilson, our favorite, and Vera Farmiga.
Back again.
Yes, of course. How could we miss her? And then I don't recognize too many of these other ones. There's Sarah Catherine Hook. Is that familiar for anybody?
No, I think this one is definitely kind of taken aback on the established Hollywood star power
Yeah.
side of the equation.
That's what it seems like. I don't see too many people I recognize. But also starring, wow, that's a name. Ruari O'Connor. Ruairi.
Okay.
Yeah, O'Connor. He's the main possessed person.
Arnie Johnson. I think
Yeah,
is
he's
his name.
Arnie Johnson. And then there's Julian Hilliard as David, the
Okay.
little boy who gets possessed.
Oh, he's from Haunting of Hill House. He's really good at
Is
that.
he? Okay,
Yeah.
Yep.
cool. Good cast though. All I think pretty well acted all around, even the
Yeah.
newcomers. And of course Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga I think are really good again.
They definitely settled into the roles.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
they have for sure by now.
Did we go over the IMDb summary?
I have not yet, but it reads as follows. The Warrens investigate a murder that may be linked to a demonic possession.
Could be.
That's all it says.
Okay.
And I don't like that. It's just way too brief. I feel like all three of these you could, attach them to. You could like interchange all three of these IMDb descriptions
Sure.
to each other. I wish you got a little bit more specific here, IMDb. But I'll fill in a little bit. You see in the trailer. This is not much of a spoiler. A man has committed a murder, and he claims the devil made him do it. That he was possessed, and of course did not do it of his own free will. And so Ed and Lorraine are.
They're back, baby.
They're back. They're signed on as part of the defense to try and prove that he was indeed possessed to save, the death sentence. He goes up against the death sentence, which seemed a little out of place for one murder. That seems a little extreme. I don't know if that's
Different
how
times?
the actual different times, perhaps. I don't
The
know.
death penalty was definitely more accepted back then, and it was
Yeah,
definitely
that's
something
true.
people sought after more.
That's
just
true.
because
Yeah,
everybody
for
was
sure.
like into the Bible, and it's like an eye for an eye. So
Okay.
if you kill somebody, you're gonna die.
Yeah, I mean, this is based on a true story. I don't know how tightly, but I don't know if the actual case was facing a death penalty. I don't know.
I don't know. We'll talk about that in a little bit. I have some
You do.
thoughts.
Okay. Well, let's get into our thoughts, our non-spoiler thoughts, of course. Nathaniel, I'm very interested to see what you have to say about this movie. You told us yesterday, or at least you told me, you said, I think you guys are going to be very surprised on what I have to say about this movie.
Right,
so let's hear it.
Yeah, what do you got to say?
I said we could be. I said we could be surprised.
Say what you got to say.
I'm definitely mixed. I'm mixed, for sure. When I first was watching the movie, the first probably 45 minutes or so, I was like, "Hey, I'm on board with this." Particularly, the fact we were out of the previous genre for sure. I thought it was kind of cool that we were definitely doing something different.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to go more the way of Exorcism of Emily Rose. Which we have already kind of alluded to earlier, which is much more of a courtroom drama, not so much this where the courtroom side of things definitely take a back seat as things go forward. It's funny we've brought it up already, but towards the end of this, I was like, oh my God, they're going to turn this into the Fast and Furious. that this was going to become the Tokyo Drift of the future, and eventually we'll get, we're even following the naming conventions here, where we've now got a colon title rather than the other ones, which means at 5. At the 5th Conjuring, these will get good again. So I'm excited about that moving forward.
And then 9, they'll go to space.
Oh, man.
Could you imagine the devil in space?
Do
you think he has jurisdiction up there?
Smarter men than me have tried.
I don't think he gives a shit.
If the Quiet Place monsters are anything to go by, then yes, he does.
Okay.
Or in Aliens.
Yeah.
There you go.
I caught myself thinking multiple times how much I just wish James Wan directed this one. That was definitely a big one for me. It's a pretty significant step down in terms of quality at the end of day, in terms of just overall tightness of filmmaking and everything in general. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. And I had one other thing. Maybe I should wait for spoilers for that one. I'll wait for spoilers to kind of finish that thought. But I think this film in particular being based off a true story, and it being like there was a murder and this was a thing that happened, it plays pretty fast and loose with some stuff that I think is kind of can be read as pretty insensitive in some ways, especially to some folks' families. So I'll talk about that in a little bit too. But yeah, that being said, I don't know if I can recommend this.
Okay.
We'll see. Come around again until we get on until I get a final answer on that one.
Okay.
But yeah, Ty, what about you?
I'm just gonna come out and say it. I think as of right now, this is just not a recommend for me. And I said this earlier, and I think it's this might play into a little bit of it. And this is the third one we've watched over the last, for me at least, 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I shotgunned all 3 of these in 24 hours.
Yeah,
and
so
I actually by the third one was like, hey, I'm bought in right now. This is fine, and I think I was good for the first 45 minutes, and then my enthusiasm ran out.
Yeah,
that's the last thing I'm going to say for a little bit. Sorry.
No, you're
go
good.
ahead, keep going.
I think that might have played into a little bit of a factor for me, and I'm just kind of over him at this point. I still think this one does some really good things, like Nathaniel said in the beginning of it. I think towards the end you fall a little bit short, a lot of bit short for me at least. We mentioned a little bit yesterday about like the CGI and how that kind of plays into it, and you can definitely see from 1 to 2 to 3 that it continues to grow more, and it doesn't really progress at all. If anything, it gets worse from 3 to 2.
There is shocking CGI in this third one there's some unforgivable stuff in this one that I'll bring up in a bit. But yeah, was this delayed by COVID for a year, or was this always scheduled to come out in 2021?
This I don't know.
Okay, continue.
I'm not sure.
I can try to
I
find
don't
out.
either. other than that, like it's got some redeemable stuff in the beginning. Other than that, I don't particularly care for it. It's just not a.
Do Ed and Lorraine still work for you?
They do, just because we've built so much, and at the end of this, I said that the room, when he puts the little goblet in the shelf, like the room is still my favorite part. Yeah, whatever. It's still my favorite part of this series, because there's just so much history in there, and you get to kind of read another little chapter from their book. So that they definitely still work. I think they're one of the more redeemable parts about this movie. But yeah, as of right now, it's a non-recommend for me. Adam, you look like you're gonna say something.
Yeah, I did look it up. This was delayed. It was supposed to come out September 11th of 2020.
Okay.
So it was actually delayed.
Fall last year.
Yeah, about 9 months. But it was only delayed once. It was supposed to come out when it did. So that's good, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blake, I'm interested in your take here.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay at best, but I mean, honestly, that's expected if it's not by James Wan. As you said, it's the same gentleman who made The Curse of La Llorona, and that's pretty bad. I haven't seen the movie to his defense, right? So I can't really butcher it. I'm just going on kind of the research that I've come across. So I went in with very mediocre expectations. I didn't expect it to be good as the first two. It's not as good as the first two, and that's kind of all I'll take away from it. The rest of the stuff I'll talk about when we get into spoilers. To your guys' point, yeah, there's a few CGI scenes in here, and it just, for a lack of a better word, it just looks like fucking terrible. But there are some redeeming qualities, though. I think the beginning is really good.
Yeah, like I said, I was having a pretty good time.
Dude.
Pretty much about halfway through this overall.
Yeah.
I think I came with a little bit lower expectations, knowing it wasn't James Wan too, and I felt like for the most part I was pretty much being met with that. But then the wheels just fall off this thing in the third act for me. Sure.
But yeah, I think the opening scene is really good. I mean, I wish kind of the movie would have took more on that. To Nathaniel's point, I mean, does come across a little insensitive because this is based on a true story. And I've done some research on it. I think they actually did reach out to some of the people who were involved in the case, obviously with Ed and Lorraine Bourne. And I believe Lorraine actually kind of does some of this stuff on set for the first two Conjurings as well as this one. And I believe she kind of passed away. Well, I don't believe. I read she did pass away, so rest in peace to her. And I kind of wish they would have added something kind of like post credits or to kind of give her a tribute or something of that nature. Those are kind of my gripes on it. I like the court scene stuff. I wish they would have deep dived into that so
elaborated
much more.
a little bit more.
Exorcism of Emily Rose is just such a better version of this.
That's exactly what I was, and that's why I wanted to watch that movie. To be honest with you, Nathaniel, and that's what
as soon as you said that,
gonna take.
As soon as you said that, I was like, yeah, we both had the same reaction when this started.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and the trailers kind of have some of that courtroom stuff in there, and I wish this movie would have deep dive on that. Like that is so cool to see, like how they would make a courtroom
try and prosecute through that.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. And they put like 2 scenes in it and never fucking talk about it.
It's so disappointing.
The stuff you see in the movie is stuff that's in the trailer.
For sure. So,
it's like courtroom, done.
Yeah.
Really?
Right.
Yeah.
So that's kind of all I got to say. I don't know if it's a not recommend because I think there's only a handful of movies we've said that for. I don't think it's that bad. So I'll kind of leave it as a recommend, just kind of based off the information we've given on past movies. But I'm not too fond of it. What do you think, Adam?
Yeah, I'm pretty much in agreement with everything that's been said.
Sure.
And definitely Nathaniel with you, where you said you kind of, and Blake, where you kind of fell off about halfway through. I felt the exact same way, and I could even pinpoint. I was thinking about I can pinpoint where, and I'll talk about it more in spoilers. But it's just so disappointing to come off of 1 and 2, and then come in to 3 and have this happen, and they kind of just the wheels fall off.
I mean, it's such a noticeable difference just in style alone.
And I could tell immediately.
Yeah.
And again, I'll get to that in spoilers because I do want to talk about that. But I could tell even from the opening, cold open, whatever you want to call it, that it was different. And it just and I was on board for a while. I think it was doing some cool things, and what I do like about it is how it is different than the other two, and how they've continued to at least change it, and it's not just a third. This family's getting haunted and everything like that.
Right, in a house.
Yeah, and as soon as you said, Juan's still involved in the writing side of things and stuff, I think that does make a little bit more sense.
Yeah, exactly. So props for that, where it's not something.
It's just another haunted house.
Yeah, exactly. It's not stale or anything like that. It is trying to change. Our characters, our favorite characters of Ed and Lorraine, are in new circumstances and they're faced with new challenges, and I like that. It's just where the film eventually goes about halfway through, where it kind of just gets a little too out there for me. So, in general, and also the other thing I came away from this is I didn't think it was all that scary.
No.
Yeah. And for a horror film, if I'm not on the edge of my seat, I was someone who couldn't watch a horror film until I was 17, and the fact that I don't think this is scary should really tell you something about the quality of its scares and the quality of its actual horrorness, if you want to call it that. And I think that's all you should really need to know about that kind of aspect of it. Overall, I'd probably not recommend on this. I think if you've seen the first two, sure, you might as well finish it out, but if I was to say, like, you want to go watch this right now in the theaters, I'd just be like, nah. I don't. My binary recommendation is probably a no, to be honest.
Yeah, it is a tough one. I think I know we say no nuance on the internet. It has to be yes or no, but it is like if you've seen the first two, watch this one. Because I feel like there's a part of me that, again, like they'll make a fourth and fifth one. And
they will.
It might be good again.
Yeah, hopefully James Wan comes back.
It could go Fast and Furious on there now. So that means the next one would just be, I think, the next one would just be Conjuring, and then we could go back to the Conjuring 5 again or something like that.
Please. Maybe they just do Conjuring 3.
Yeah, maybe we go for that.
Maybe they do just a Conjuring 3, and this was just a little detour.
So yeah, if you've seen the first two, I'd say watch this one. Recommend. If you haven't seen the first two and you're starting the franchise, maybe with us, watch the first two, and then I do not recommend this one. Just skip it.
Yeah, that's the accurate statement.
Yeah.
There's enough if you've seen the first two, I think, to get you through this one.
There is. Yeah. It's not unwatchable by any means. Is not, I don't.
To Blake's point earlier, when we rank this on the Entropy list, I don't think this will be the bottom of the list.
It won't.
But it's not a midfield team. It's for another Tyler reference.
It's more of a Williams.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that's been our non-spoiler thoughts on The Conjuring, The Devil That Made Me Do It. If you have not seen the film and you do not want it spoiled for you for whatever reason, go ahead and check the episode description where I've marked a timestamp that you can jump to, where you are taken to our ranking up upon the Entropy list. Well, that's it for non-spoilers. Let's get into it, boys. Shit goes down.
Shit goes down.
Shit goes down. We should do that as a round sometime.
Do we even really talk about like the plot in this?
I kind of did, yeah. I tried to fill it out.
Okay, So Ed and Lorraine are back. They this time they're investigating, or the cold open starts with them exorcising a boy, which again we're into that realm of storytelling where, like, in the first one it was unusual, or it was a big thing that Ed even sought to do an exorcism. I was just he's doing exorcisms willy-nilly. He's throwing it around.
You get an exorcism.
Left and right.
You get an exorcism.
Try an exorcism time, man. Just try it out. See if it works.
The demon jumps from the kid into Arnie. Arnie then kills someone.
Right.
But
Arnie asked for the demon to.
Right. He says take me instead.
Correct.
Which that felt weird just saying that out loud.
No, thank you.
Yeah, dude.
Kill someone. His defense rests on him being possessed during that. And then up to that point, I'm with Blake. I'm thinking that they're going to find this evidence. It's going to be this courtroom drama. We're going to have to convince the jury that Arnie was actually possessed. But no, it becomes X-Files. We just find the monster of the week that is using demons to control the world, and it's
Totems.
another. Yes. I to the point that I was like, would this have worked better as this as like a 3 or 4 episode like series on an HBO Max or something like a mini series or something like that? Because
cool.
It would have played better.
I wouldn't have minded the first bit as an introduction where we get the kind of traditional Warren story of the possession first, and then halfway through the series, oh shit, it's after Arnie now too, or something like that. I think they tried to do the kind of cold open that we've talked about and praised in the first two of you start with the separated family. But this time they tied them together from the start. I had another thought too. What was the moment that it broke itself for you?
When she gets to the cliff.
Oh, okay.
It literally fell off a cliff.
That CGI is horrendous.
Oh,
I'm sure
man. So that was one of the scenes that was just green screened as fuck. And I was just like, whoa.
Where he's reaching down and holding her up. I was like, I don't even know why they cut to that.
This is about to be another one, too, with the knife in the face. When we're watching it on the background here, I noticed it on the second time. The knife is just completely CGI. But yeah.
Which scene are you talking about?
Where the occultist is trying to stab Vera Farmiga in the face with the knife. When it cuts to Vera's face, the knife is just 100% CGI. You can tell the way that it's shaking and the light's reflecting off of it. There's some bad CGI shots in it, which is why I also asked if it had been delayed, because the fact that it has been delayed for 9 months and still looks like this is pretty unforgivable in my opinion.
Pump some more money.
Man, there's something else that I just wanted to rip this thing for. I'm sorry. I don't think they just let you go to prison whenever you want and be visited by your girlfriend.
Yep.
what? Like you
again, different times.
Oh, and this is the thing that I think is pretty fucked up, is that they end this movie with Arnie Johnson got 5 years for manslaughter.
Did they not see the windows exploding in the prison? Like, something must have been going on, man.
Regardless of that, like, the fact that you're ending this film with Arnie got 5 years for manslaughter means you're 100% leading credence to the theory that the demon did make it do it, which then, like, you're relying on you're based on a true story as, like, going to be the what the most of the public nowadays knows of this trial, which is very kind of dangerous and irresponsible in my opinion. Because there's a very good chance that Arnie Johnson might have had some sort of mental issue and really did kill someone, and that's like just not cool in some ways too. So I think there's a level of responsibility that this film dodges in some ways that frankly gets a little bit gross towards the end, in my opinion.
No, I definitely agree. I think this takes liberties with something that is more sensitive than the first two movies. It's more sensitive than just two families that got haunted. It's an actual case where someone was murdered and someone served time for it, and you know,
to kind of frame it as Arnie was this great kid and at least he only got 5 years for manslaughter, which when I don't know, I didn't, and because we never saw anything more of the case or anything like that, we have no idea either with this. So those are kind of my final, or some of my deeper thoughts, if you want to call it that. Do you guys have any kind of scenes that called out for you? Tyler, when did you just decide that you were off on this one?
Probably a little bit before Adam was.
Okay.
The whole like the totem and like the vase thing. I was like, whatever.
Didn't like that. As far as was it too much of a leap of faith or too much of a leap of logic, too out of left field for you?
Yeah, I think like it was just like there could have been other ways that maybe that totem could have got there, or you know, like versus that it was like she sent me flowers.
Gotcha. Okay, so for him, so it wasn't necessarily the idea that there was the totem being used to summon demons.
I think that's a fair thing, and I just got off Assassin's Creed. There was obviously totems in there. Okay. I'm used to destroying those. I'm really good at finding them. And I will shoot them with a bow. So I'm not
add
even
Lorraine if you or your family if you need a guy.
Ty the totem hunter.
But
He
yeah,
also
I
tries
think,
exorcisms.
I think I was out kind of at that point. I do like these points with like the body contortionism and stuff like that.
Okay.
And
I hate it.
I was about to say I'm not a big fan.
I
of
actually don't mind it. I liked it in the second one too, where she's like putting herself in the closet and
No, that I liked, but the CGI in this movie, like particularly CGI makeup and CGI effects for ghosts and demons, for me, it is so much different than in the second one when you can tell it is the actress in like the box that she or like the side of the house or something.
Yeah.
It just looks so much better. It always does. This stuff to me when it's a CGI room and someone's contorting their body or something like that, or even the big one that they've started doing recently is like makeup, like demonic makeup almost. In CGI, you can just tell every time. It's just it's not there yet.
Yeah, like they could have easily recreated the makeup on like when he's possessed or like
and it would
his face,
it'd be cheaper.
like, and it would look so much better.
Especially when you think back to the first one and how good that makeup looked.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it was practical, but when the mother gets possessed and it's kind of half mother, half demon, and it's kind of going back and forth as they fight for this possession of her body, like that looks great.
Yeah.
And then you see into transition to this movie and you kind of see them trying to do something similar but just not pulling it off the same. It's really disappointing.
Some of the lighting in this movie really bothers me.
It's not nearly the same as James Wan, which is so distinctive.
Some of the scenes down here in like the catacombs or her little temple or whatever the hell you want to call this place, I didn't really care for. The scene earlier where she's talking with the priest upstairs, the lady's dad, the fire just coming out of the side, I didn't really care for. I think there's better ways to get better lighting out of that. And you can
I actually kind of liked it, to be honest.
You can still emulate fire. So yeah, I didn't particularly care for some of those things, but yeah, I think just there's better horror movies out there. There's better possession movies out there. I think this may have just taken a little bit too much of a leap for me from where I wanted them to be at. So
that's why I'm saying I'm hoping that Fast and Furious is it. I think they just keep churning it out and eventually it gets good again.
Yeah.
Why
Blake,
not?
What did you likes, dislikes, pros, cons?
Deeper thoughts.
That was for Blake. I don't know. I didn't come across clearly.
Gotcha.
Blake?
I'm sorry, what was that?
I said pros and cons. What are you feeling?
Pros, I would say. I mean, it's good to see Ed and Lorraine again, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think they're the lone driving factor, and I actually think their kind of companionship is probably the best of the three movies in this one.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely play with it more and they play into it more.
Yeah.
Where you kind of you do see their first meeting again, and I like that they're continuing to build on their relationship.
For sure.
But then you do see them; they're both are pushed to the edge a little bit, and you see them kind of caring for each other even more. And it's for once Ed has to take a step back, I guess, and let Lorraine do her thing and not worry about her as much, or at least try not to.
Right.
Which is cool.
And I actually don't mind that they did that, and they kind of gave him that heart attack failure-esque in this movie, right? That it kind of allows Vera Farmiga's character or Lorraine to kind of take the lead on some of that stuff. That's actually really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, outside of that, I mean, I think I'm kind of struggling to. I would say this. I think the main villain, the occultist, I think that's okay. I think that I don't think that's better than the other two villains in the other two Conjurings. But I think that's one of the stronger parts of it. And then you kind of realize that it happened to be the priest's daughter. But I don't think that was too big of a surprise because even the first time they go there, Lorraine is like, I don't want to go in the basement.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, you kind of pick something up of that. The only good thing that I did like out of that scene, and that's just because I watched the first one recently, as we all did. They're kind of down there, and they kind of have the same conversation that the detective has when they go to Ed and Lorraine's house in the first one.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, why do you keep all this stuff?
Yeah.
Shouldn't you just burn it? And he's like, well, it's better than
Sure.
shooting guns off the
Yeah,
street.
no, I like that
And that's
too.
the same thing he says to them. Yeah, it's like that was really cool to pick that up. But I don't even know if I would have caught that if I didn't watch the first one like
recently.
Hours before
Sure,
that.
yeah.
Right. I like that. So there's a little few tiebacks to the first movie. I know when they mention when he gets flowers, when Ed has flowers delivered to him, not the one from the cultist, but the first set of flowers, and like, oh, it's from the Piron family.
Yeah,
that's actually
that's
the family
nice.
from the first movie.
Yeah, caught that as
so
well.
there's little stuff like that is cool.
Yeah, that is nice.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Do you guys? Do you think that they've added just a little bit of like subtle prosthetic work to each actor's face? I feel like they're like each one of them is like just a little bit has some stuff done that they almost resemble the actual Ed and Lorraine a little bit more than the last two. I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like that is they've done a little something.
I'd have to rewatch this whole
Yeah, I was about to say I didn't notice that personally.
Maybe not.
Maybe it's just they got older.
It could be that too. I think there's also just a different style of makeup that they're using on them.
It might be,
well,
but
too.
you know, Conjuring 2 was what, 2016? This has been 4 years.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 years went between making them. So, you know, they definitely did get older.
I want to know what that does. I want to know what that does. You see the nun picture in the back. I want to know what that does. I want to know what that does.
Tyler's referencing the room of possessed objects of the Warren household.
So they're both dead now. Do you think that room's just like empty?
What if they like have dispersed to back out in the world?
No, I actually know. I know through actually Rooster Teeth, harkening back to that earlier. But they did when Annabelle Creation, is that the third one?
Comes Home.
I think it was when that one came out. They did like a thing with Rooster Teeth, because Rooster Teeth is actually owned now by Warner Bros. But they did a video thing where they, like a promo kind of thing, where they sent a couple people from Rooster Teeth to go visit the real Annabelle doll and stuff. So I'm pretty sure those things are still kept locked up and stuff like that.
I'd really like to see the Annabelle movies adapt the Spider-Man titles. Annabelle Homecoming, Annabelle Far From Home.
Annabelle in your home. She's right behind you. Yes, you listening right now. There's some band that like they finished their song. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
This just reminded me of it. But they have a CD, and you know how CDs used to have secret tracks?
Yeah.
There's one that was on there that like it was like 2 minutes after the last song would finish, but it would just be completely silent, and then like the lead singer would be like, I'm in your house, I'm in your house, I'm in your house. And I can just think of nothing scarier than that.
That's funny. Yeah, for me, I talked about earlier, like, I could tell early on that I was like, this is an odd direction. It definitely very different stylistically, but I could tell when Lorraine was getting those flashes to the cultist in the opening scenes,
Sure.
I was like, oh, I don't know. I don't like that. I could tell right away. I was like, I don't like that, or where it's going to take us. And sure enough, as it went on and we discovered what that really was, I was like, I don't know how much I really am into this. But yeah, that scene where she gets to the cliff, I did really like everything up to that point. Because I like how they're trying to investigate this shit. They're trying to get evidence and everything. And I loved how they went to that police station and the officer was kind of giving them some lip, like, hey, I'm not here to help you. You're here to help me and all that. And then she proves him wrong by picking the right knife. And then she's like, oh, you missed a turn. And he's kind of like, oh, no. I like that stuff a lot. And so everything up until that point, I was kind of on board with, and I was very into how they were taking it in a different direction. I was very pleased with that. But then just it got a little too much where I don't know, the whole possession thing from a distance like that, I was like, okay. And then, like I said, the whole movie just didn't feel that scary to me.
Sure.
I didn't think the whole when she goes to the corpse and then there's another corpse that gets revived, like that wasn't very scary.
I thought that one was okay. I liked the fact that when she broke the contact, it just went dead straight to the thing. I liked that moment on there. Mm-hmm. I agree that the overall thing wasn't in something too terror-inducing.
You're right. It just wasn't terror-inducing, and it just, I don't know. I can't really put my finger on what it is specifically, but like that second half just kind of goes too much all over the place.
It goes off the rails.
Yeah, it goes off the rails, and the wheels.
It really completely loses its touch and groundedness in reality.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Where the first two have this kind of dedication not only to, its presence and and kind of how we were talking yesterday, where Juan knows how to manipulate the rhythm of a scene to its best advantage. but his films in particular, in particular the first two, have this extra layer of grounded reality aesthetic to it, whereas this third one is very much more removed, heightened for sure.
Yeah. And it's just disappointing, man, because I was hoping this would be a nice little trilogy, and it didn't end as smoothly as I hoped.
We'll see.
But we'll see. You know, I'm sure they're going to make another one, hopefully, and let's hope James Wan decides to come back and direct, because this, we talked about earlier, just stylistically is very different than the first two, and that's all down to the director.
Doesn't have to be Wan. Yeah, grab that guy who did Annabelle Creation.
Sure. Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's a good point. Sure. I'm not committed to Wan, but I don't know this guy.
Yeah, he just knows it, obviously.
Yeah, he knows it.
I don't know this guy.
Yeah, I just wish it was better. It's not. It doesn't hit home.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely right. I mean, this is by far and away the least scary of the two movies.
Yeah.
I can't even think of a scare in this that comes close to either of the scares we referenced yesterday. And the first one,
none of them really
scare, hit. The nun scare, and the second one.
Yeah,
I don't think you're touching any of that stuff. I do like the scene in the morgue or the funeral home, whatever you want to call it. I thought that was okay. I think that's kind of one of the better scenes in there.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the whole beginning, the bit where he's going up to the hole in the wall, I thought that was pretty decently done.
That was a very James Wan-esque scare.
Yes,
right.
Yeah,
where like he goes in the house, the cereal falls over, right? And you think like a scare is going to be around the corner, but it's not there. Then he goes and looks into the hole. Then you think the scare is going to be there. Then it's not there. Then it's behind him.
Yeah,
it's like that was really good. I'm glad you said that, Nathaniel. So yeah, I'll definitely kind of take back what I said. I think that was probably one of the more better scares in the movie.
It was one of the better ones, but for me, I like. You're right. It was James Wan-esque, and that's why I expected it. It's like I've seen this already in the first two, and it just felt like it felt like maybe this director was like, "All right, I got to do something like this in the Conjuring." Sure. And so I was expecting him to turn around and there's to be something there, and there was, and so it just wasn't as effective. And I think if James Wan had done it, he would have found another creative way to do something like that, because he's done it, but he's kind of changed how he does it, and just he's very methodic with it. Yeah. And this one, it just felt like, all right, I'm going to mimic what he's done in the past and make it feel like a Conjuring movie in the early parts of it. And so just because I was expecting that to come, it just didn't hit.
For sure. I'll tell you one thing I did find funny was in the beginning, where the priest pulls up and they kind of give the homage to the exorcist, right, when he kind of gets out the cab and looks at the house. But nonetheless, they get there, right, they go into the bathroom. You have the scare in the bathroom with the little boy, and that was pretty good. But then nonetheless, they're like pulling him down the stairs, right, and you see like the claw marks of like where his hand would be.
That was cool.
From a demon,
I liked that.
And they're like, yeah, and that was cool. But then it's funny then, because Patrick Wilson's character was like, all right, like we got to perform the exorcist now. And like the priest is seeing all this shit happen. He just stabbed the dad in the leg. And he's like, all right, cool. Put him in the car. We'll drive him to the church.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who has time for that right now? Like, look what's going on. And then Patrick, then Ed Lorraine is just like, no, like right
now. Yeah.
Yeah, that was just funny though. I'm like, that's like, who the fuck sees all that? And like, yeah, bro, put him in the car.
Right, let's get him in the car. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. All right, do we have any other?
I'm ready to see where it ranks up upon.
Oh yeah, just real quick, Ed, you're a grown ass man. Stop forgetting your fucking pills at home, you dick.
He's too macho for that, man. He doesn't need pills. He's too stubborn. I was really hyped when he dropped down into the tunnels with that hammer. I was like, oh, Big Daddy Ed's going to go to town.
That's all, yeah. I mean, that was another one where I was like, oh, okay, so we're just in The Shining now.
Yeah,
like.
No, I had that exact same thought. Maybe the director was trying to pay homage again, I guess.
For
but
sure.
Like, I was like, all right, shit's going down, Ed. Let's go.
Get it, boy!
Nathaniel would know homage, okay?
Oh, I know an homage.
All right.
If I'm not humble brag master's degree guy myself.
There you have it. Well, welcome back, listeners who decided to skip over the spoilers segment. We're going to go ahead and rank The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It up upon the entry list. For those of you who do not know, the Entropy list is Back Row Banter's official list of every movie we have reviewed, regardless of genre, regardless of anything else, all on one fantastic list. This is essentially our rating system. Rather than giving it out of 5 stars, out of 10, or anything like that, we're going to throw all these movies up and see how they compare to one another. If you'd like to reference the Entropy list for yourself, you can do so by checking the episode description, where it is linked to my Letterboxd.
Okay, boys.
I believe this is
56, yeah?
movie number 56. To match episode 56, we've officially caught up because we've done some double eps that didn't feature a movie review.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
But we are officially back to 56 episodes and 56 movies.
Hey-o.
Wow.
When's our 1-year anniversary? That's got to be coming up here
June
soon, right?
6th, I believe. Or sorry, July 6th, I believe.
I was going to say, that was
Hey.
yesterday,
That
bro.
was yesterday. No, July 6th, I think.
Gotcha.
Is when
All right.
our first episode went
Few
live.
episodes.
Why are you crying? That's something to celebrate.
I know.
Almost there, baby.
Tears of happiness.
Almost there.
All right. Well, who wants to kick us off then on the
Well,
list?
we have the Conjuring 1 at 18, below Kill Bill and above Kill Bill Volume 1 and above Boys in the Hood. The Conjuring 2 is down at, where did we land on that one? I can't even find it.
30.
You're right, 30. Below Frozen and above Die Hard. I think we're all in agreement. Conjuring 2, better than this one. So it's probably going to be below 30. BlakeHolder. Actually, you know what? Tie. I'm going to go to tie first.
45.
Okay.
Oh, good. All right. Well, at least he
Fair.
had to read it.
That's
Right
a-
below Trick or Treat. Or sorry, right below Trick or Treat and above Wonder Woman 2017. Okay. It's actually a little higher than I was expecting.
Yeah, but you guys, I mean, it's either...
You don't
I
like Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
I don't like Borat either.
yeah, you're very down on both of those. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
And I think like I don't know, Zack Snyder's Justice League is somewhat tolerable. So if I want to like spend 4 hours of just staring at my phone and not
just got
actually
a root
paying
canal.
attention to the TV. But I really like Trick or Treat, and I would much rather watch Trick or Treat than this, and I have way more
give
fun
you
with
that.
that movie than this.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
I'll definitely agree with you there. BlakeHolder.
I think Tyler was at a good spot with 45. I mean, personally, I think I'm gonna put this thing at 48.
48.
So
below Snyder's.
Below Snyder Cut.
And above 1980.
The thing is, though, is I fucking hate Borat. So, I mean, I almost
Okay.
want to put it at 46, right, to put it above Borat.
Sure.
But I'll leave it at 48. I'll put it below Snyder Cut.
Okay. Nathaniel.
54.
54, even lower. Wow. So below The Purge and above Justice League.
Oh man,
This thing's getting raked through the bottom of the entry list.
I don't know. I mean, what do you want from me at this point?
I can't expect too much.
you might be onto something though.
I mean, I don't know. The Purge
I
is
don't
pretty
mind
good,
high
man.
tension, and high tension is 52.
Yeah, I know. That was kind of where my thought was.
I don't really care
Yeah,
about that.
This-
I almost
I
didn't
don't
even
care
look
for high
at
tension
This
at
is-
all.
deep
this
into
in-
the list.
Yeah, this and
I
the
stopped looking at Wonder Woman 1984.
This and the Purge, I think, are pretty interchangeable. King of Staten Island, I think's decent. Boondock Saints, I like.
This guy's good, man.
84.
Daniel is good at convincing people.
Wonder Woman 84, I'm not that fussed by. Leagues and experience. Borat 2, I liked better than you guys did.
Yeah, I definitely liked it.
Wonder Woman, I'm more positive on, and I've already conned to bat for Trick or Treat a ton of times. So, for me, this one's a 54. I think it falls
Sure,
off that much enough, and I think, those are like the ones where I actually haven't recommended those other ones when we're doing the review
Sure.
list. So for this one, for me, that's where I go.
I mean, I can be argued to go that low. I actually don't mind the Purge. So
Yeah, I don't mind high tension, like I said. So, what are you thinking? Adam?
Good, you're all coming under my plan.
Yeah. I'm back up at 47 above Justice
Okay,
League
so
and
you're
below
right by me.
Borat. Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed Borat a lot because I like the first one a lot. I think the sequel changed enough for me that I enjoyed it more than Ty and Blake. And I can't get behind Snyder's cut. And as I look below Snyder cut, none of those movies really do it for me. Besides King of Staten Island, I like, and Boondock Saints is eh. But yeah, 47. I think this movie is decent enough to be above Snyder cut.
Okay.
I mean, like I said, I think the first two are better. This one definitely falls off a little bit, but it's not a terrible movie, in my opinion.
Right.
I don't think it's like awful. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. It's not to the quality that I was hoping it would be. So yeah, I'm gonna put it at 47. So I believe that makes it a tie. Where'd you say 45?
Well, I originally said 45, but I might
change?
want to change. Yeah, I think I am gonna go down to 54.
Okay, you're gonna join Nathaniel at 54. So that's two at 54. Blake, are you changing or are you staying?
I'll stand on it. All right, because I'm sure it's gonna get moved around anyways.
You were at
48.
48? Yeah, that's right. And I'm going to stick at 47. So I think middle ground here would be, what, 50 or 51?
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah, that's on paper. I'm cool with middle grounding it at 53 behind High Tension. I don't know how you guys feel about that. Well, obviously that's...
High Tension was a big sticking point for Adam, yeah. He doesn't like High Tension.
Not like High Tension.
Oh, I forgot.
I honestly...
on that movie.
Yeah, I liked the first 45 minutes of this more than I liked the entirety of High Tension.
Let's do 51, because you at least like King of Staten Island.
Yeah, I do like King of Staten Island.
Okay.
I can, and I didn't like Project Power, so I'm cool at 51 if you guys are.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm
That's
fine
fine.
with that too.
Cool. All right. Well, the Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, is slotted in the bottom layer of the Entropy list here at 51, right below the King of Staten Island. Our first ever review. Haven't mentioned that much recently.
That's true.
And then right above Project Power, which I believe was our first new movie review. Could be wrong.
That is also true.
I think American Pickle might have been before that, but not by much. Actually, I can
Who
find
knows?
out. American Pickle was first. American
Well, there you go.
Pickle episode 9. I forgot that I put the episodes in the under the movies. American Pickle was episode 9. Project Power episode 10. Those were some
Early days.
rough back-to-back episodes. But here we are, all the way up at episode 56. All right, moving on here. 5-star review, Nathaniel?
Not this week, but we had an excellent 5-star review last week and a wonderful email in last episode. So go back and listen to that again. Just enjoy that email.
Thanks, so.
Thanks, Sal.
Cool. Yeah, thank you. And our next review for next week is actually not determined. We left it blank and never went back to figure it out. So we're going to have another visit from Post-Pod Adam here,
My
guys.
life be like, ooh.
It's been a while because we've been actually on top of it for a good amount of time.
That's true.
So it'll be a nice little return of the Post-Pod Adam. But
Right here.
yeah, he's going to tell you right now. Well, listeners, it is good to be back. It is Post-Pod Adam here, coming at you with an update on what we're watching next week. We discussed it after finishing recording, and we're going to go ahead and give Deadpool a watch for next week. Yes, we couldn't decide between a comedy or maybe a superhero movie, so we kind of just decided to do both. So yeah, join us next week for Deadpool. Wow, I'm just so excited for that film.
I can't
Cannot
believe
wait.
we're doing 120 Days of Sodom.
What?
Nah, I'm excited for whatever that is. It'll be a good time.
It will
Come check
be.
it out.
I'm hyped.
I'm about as hyped as I can be. Please share the podcast. Share it with a friend, a family member, a cult member, a Satan worshiper.
If you decide that you need to target people by sending them totems, don't send them a totem. Send them our podcast link instead.
It will possess
their
them
curse?
to listen to more episodes. of
And
our
we'll
podcast.
possess them.
With great movie opinions.
And if you received this as a link from someone, congratulations. They don't like you very much, but welcome to the pod. We like you, and maybe share with another friend.
There you go. And
Yeah,
in the off chance you have received a totem, try an exorcism. Ty would.
That's true.
Sometimes
I'm
it's last
ordained.
resort.
Tyler's gonna give it a shot.
Give us
Let us know.
give us a 5-star review. Let us know what your possession scenario is, and we'll rate it.
There you go. If it's a 5-star review, we will read it on pod. Has to be 5 stars though.
Yeah. If it's 4 stars and you're possessed, you're out of luck.
Sorry.
You can follow the show on Twitter at BanterBro, on Instagram at Back Row Banter Pod, and on YouTube it's just Back Row Banter. And then our email for any questions, comments, concerns, grievances, or anything of the sort is backrowbanterpod@gmail.com. BlakeHolder, where can the people find you at, my man?
Letterboxd, BlakeHolder will be on there. Usually I only go on there, to be honest, to look at Adam's entropy list. Well, our entropy list, I would say that. But I definitely need to get better at logging some stuff on there, so maybe I'll pick up on that. Outside of that'll be kind of it on that end. We'll go to Nathaniel today.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at NathanielG92 or NSGingrick92, I want to say. You can find me. Letterboxd is also under one of those as well. Follow my other podcast, Sandpiper Tapes. New stuff with that hopefully coming soon. We bought a PC yesterday.
Ooh.
After pod. So the stream will hopefully be something coming soon. Yeah. So
second future face of Twitch.
The second future face of second Twitch. So
yeah, whatever it was.
Follow El Trabajo and check this space for more updates on anything like that. Ty, you are Trabajo.
I am Trabajo.
So let them know.
Yeah, we stream sometimes. Hopefully we'll be able to pick up on that a little bit more, especially because Adam's home now. We can also have him on there. And who knows? Maybe you'll hear some other familiar voices on the stream.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? But that's at twitch.tv/El Trabajo, ELTRABAJO87. And Instagram, Letterboxd, and what's the other one? Twitter are all Tyler Vidalis, Vidales. Adam.
You can find me on Twitter at Aish24, on Letterboxd at Aish, and on Twitch, like Tyler said, whenever we get back to streaming, or I get back to streaming, it's twitch.tv/Aish. I think that's all we have for you for episode 56. Join us next week for whatever post-pod Adam told you to watch.
Man, I'm excited for that.
Me too, man. Nothing quite like a recommendation from post-pod Adam.
He's a good guy.
He is, man. He really is. Well, BRB.
Hey, everyone. Be excellent to each other. And we will BRB.
Thanks for stopping by. Like, comment, subscribe. Please share. We appreciate any growth that you could possibly help us with. And ELE, everybody love everybody. And we'll BRB.
Yeah, we appreciate the love and support. Everybody have a great week, a great Tuesday, or next day, whatever day you're listening to this on, and wake up and try to put your best foot forward every day. We'll BRB.
I'm in your house. I'm in your house. I'm in your house.
America. Ready for another lesson.
You know, you might want to see a dermatologist.
If your house is haunted?
I think it's just healthy for all people to make regular dermatologist appointment. You know, the skin is the largest organ, and we don't really take good enough care of it. We just we take it for granted.
I don't think I've ever been to a dermatologist.
You probably got some sort of like 7 shades of skin cancer and like some fungus.
I feel all right.
You know, don't you just want to age gracefully?
No, I actually want to put more ink in my body.
Well, you got to keep the other bits of the canvas nice and neat, bro.
I do. I moisturize like every day.
Every day? Good.
Every day.
You never know. You could be, we should all wear gloves to bed, really.
Is that the thing? I had to when I was a kid because I had eczema, and I would have to put on the ointment, and then to avoid, I forgot what it was for. It was to preserve the moisture of the ointment and not have like rub off or something like that. I had to wear like cotton gloves to bed for like a year.
Really?
Yeah. This is a real story. This is a real thing.
Really?
I think from like 4th to 5th grade, maybe somewhere around that time frame.
Fair enough. I had some sort of like crazy. I guess this is where we're going this round. Dermatology, folks.
Dermatology.
I had like some sort of crazy wart that was like on my arm, and they froze it. And they were like, but they were saying they were afraid it was going to spread, and they're like, we're gonna shoot him with this dealio, and it's gonna blister up, and then like in a week it's not, and then in a week like all the warts in his body are gonna go away, and like sure as shit that's what happened. I don't know what it was. It was just like some student doctor there.
Miracle cure, apparently.
Yeah.
I had warts on my hands as a kid, but that's because I was just out playing with frogs and dumb shit.
Oh, well, that'll do it.
So we had to get that stuff from like Walgreens or whatever.
Where
you just
it?
push it on there and it freezes it off, and then you got like a crater in your hand.
Yeah,
until
it
it
like
heals.
it like drops out.
Yeah, it's basically just like a little ball. It's like
Isn't
the
that
weirdest
weird?
thing ever.
Yeah.
Never had
just
any
like
of
a
that
little
happen.
crater in your hand, and then it just healed up.
I wasn't playing with frogs. I was playing Call of Duty.
Well, that explains a lot.
Yeah. No warts, though.
We had a wash that went up
Just
behind
eczema
our
on
house
gloves at night.
where like all the water goes when it rains in Arizona, and it was like it butted right up against our fence, and there would be all these kind of wildlife that would walk in and out of it, and we would go out there and climb in the trees and everything.
Fuck yeah.
It's awesome.
See, you got COVID.
I got COVID for reasons unrelated to being.
We don't know that now,
child.
but we do know that you
I think
were.
it has more to do with the 40 other people I was living with.
You know, playing with plastic and all that stuff. And
Well, whose
we were
bright
out.
idea was that?
I was drinking water
Hey,
out of
man,
hoses
I signed
full.
a lease, I couldn't get out.
You ever had hose water? Good cold.
I've had hose water. Don't prefer it.
No, we didn't have
Filtered
hoses
water.
in Arizona.
Yeah, that sucks.
Constant drought.
We just had our tubs in the back for collecting the rainwater, honestly.
Mm.
Everyone would just cut a hole in their local Saguaro, and it would just, put a spigot in there.